大家好，我是常老师。Today, I'm going to walk you through on 2021 AP Chinese Language and Culture Exam Overview in a way so you get idea how AP Chinese exam look like and how you can prepare and how you will take this AP Chinese Language and Culture exam. On the table of contents, you can see we will have a overview, student information, exam, additional resources. On the overview part, it will introduce about the exam format and about this presentation, and then how you're going to fill out the student information and how you separate it to take those exam. So this is an overview of AP Chinese Language and Culture exam. The presentation will provide you with a preview of the question types and directions screens that you will see on exam day. This exam is administered in school on school-owned computers through an exam application, meaning you're not going to use your own laptop, your own computer. You will have to use the school computer. On exam day, you will follow directions spoken by the proctor. During the various parts of the exam, you will also read on the screen, listen through a headset, type using the keyboard, and speak into a microphone. So, it's important to read the information on the screen carefully. About exam format. The exam will take approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes to complete. It has 2 sections, includes a 10 minutes break between the section 1 and 2. Section 1 includes listening and reading. Section 2 is the free response section, requires you to produce written and spoken responses, which is writing and speaking. This part we can just skip right now. And this image shows the how inter-student information. So let me make this screen a little bigger so you can see. So it's gonna give you AP ID and school code. You have to have those numbers, and you're gonna fill out your own name, middle initial, in case you have, and your first name, and you choose your date of birth, just month and day, and exam room number in case you have, and then finally you have to check on I agree to the AP exam terms and conditions, those. Otherwise, you will not be able to continue. This at the beginning of the exam, you should read the general directions carefully. So this, I will have put this on our canvas so you can read before. So you don't have to waste a lot of time during the test. This are how many questions and what kind of questions are distributed in this exam. Like we said, we have 2 sections, multiple choice and free response. Multiple choice include listening and reading, and then the listening include rejoinders and listening selections. Rejoinders meaning they're gonna speak something in Chinese, and also they're gonna have 4 answers spoken in Chinese, and you're going to select one of those which logically and culturally appropriate to respond with the first part of the speaking. And this this will have about 10 to 15 questions, and the listening selection is they're going to speak something, you're going to listen something spoken in Chinese, and then you're going to say questions in English, and the answer choices are also in English. Those are about 15 to 20 questions, and then the rejoinders take 10%, and the selections, listening selections, take 15%. Totally, you need 20 minutes to finish listening. And then the reading part, you read Chinese and you answer those questions. Generally, you will see like about 35 to 40 questions. It will take 25%. It takes about 1 hour to finish this part. The free response, part 1 is writing, part 2 is speaking. The writing includes story narration. You will see 4 images on the sequence about like story, and based on those images, then pictures, you're gonna make your own story. Only one question, meaning one set of those pictures, and you're gonna write your story. It takes 15%, and you will finish in about 15 minutes. Email response, you have also one question, like somebody wrote an email, and you're gonna respond like this email was sent to you, so you're gonna respond to the person who wrote this email, and it takes 10%, and the time should be 15 minutes. Free response part 2. Part B is speaking. First is a conversation. You will like having a conversation with somebody, and he or she will ask you 6 questions. They give you 20 seconds to complete your answer. This is 10%. You will finish this in 4 minutes because the time system is set. The last part is a cultural presentation. Also 1 question and 15%. You will finish in 7 minutes. So this is how many questions and what kind of questions, how much percent, and how long time they will take in the exam. So this part, it introduces you, says before the first part of the exam, you will check that your headset and microphone are working properly. It will, on the screen, it will guide you, and so you can just follow. And then the multiple choice section begins with part A, listening. It will tell you will answer 2 types of questions, rejoinders and questions based on listening selections. For all the tasks, you will have a specific amount of response time. This is very important to know. A clock at the top of the screen will show you how much time is remaining to respond. The clock will not count down while you are listening, but when the listening part finishes, it will start to count. The clock will count down only while you are answering questions. When the response time has ended, you will automatically go on to the next question. You cannot return to the previous questions. And then you have to select the continue to go on. So this is about the Part A, listening rejoinders. You will hear several short conversations or parts of conversations followed by 4 choices, designated A, B, C, and D. Choose the one that continues or completes the conversation in a logical and culturally appropriate manner. You will have 5 seconds to answer each question. You will now begin this part. This is how the screen will show you. And then you're going to select continue to start. The next is, so this here is an example about the rejoinders. Say you will hear the first part of a conversation and then 4 possible responses labeled A through D. After you have heard all 4 possible responses, select your choice. So check this one.
请问图书馆在哪儿？
A. 图书馆里有很多中文书。B. 图书馆就在那边。C. 图书馆10点开门。D. 图书馆里有很多学生。
So you heard the question in the audio. The lady asked, "Where is 图书馆在哪儿?" Meaning, where is the library? And then they made you feel like something else. And then if you carefully listen, let's listen again. Oh, it doesn't work again. If you care listening, you heard the man says, 图书馆就在那边, meaning the library is right there. So your answer should be C. This is how you listen and how you answer these questions. This kind of question. This is listening selections. You will listen to several selections in Chinese. For each selection, you will be told whether it will be played once or twice. You may take notes as you listen. Your notes will not be graded. After listening to each selection, you will see questions in English. For each question, choose the response that is best according to the selection. You will have 12 seconds to answer each question. You will now begin this part. Once you click continue, it will show you it will play the audio, and after this, you will have 12 seconds to answer those questions. For example, this one.
你知道物理老师的办公时间是什么时候吗？我有一些问题想问问他。
请稍等，我帮你看一下。他的时间是星期1、3、4，从下午1点到下午4点；星期2和星期5，从下午6点到晚上8点。
So the man asked about the physics teacher's office hour. And then the woman says, okay, let me check for you. After checking, if you listen, if you understand, you should figure out, you say, oh, okay. Because she said from Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the teacher has office hours from 1点到4点, 1 to 4 hours. So from 1 to 4, in the afternoon on Friday, which is wrong, because on Tuesday and Friday, he opens on 6 to 7, 6 to 8. And then from 6 to 8 in the afternoon on Monday, which is also wrong, because on Monday, he has hours from 1 to 4 o'clock. At 10 in the morning on Wednesday, on the conversation, they even didn't mention about the morning. So all those three are wrong. At 7 in the evening on Tuesday, because 6 to 8 o'clock, which meaning this answer D is correct. So this is how you answer, how you listen and how you answer. But I will train you. Don't worry about this too much, okay? So this is the reading part. Reading part, it shows the directions, and on the reading part, you can see here, exit part, meaning you go another part, and you mark, you review, and you need help, you go back, you go next, you go continue. Comparatively, this part kind of like you a little bit free, because you can read and you can go back, you can go to next, you can continue. And also you can even mark, say some answer, you say, right now I just, first you choose when you feel, the first time you feel like it's correct, and then in case you feel like not confident, you can mark it, and later on when you finish everything, you can go back to review and see if you wanted to change the idea. So this is in the explanation about those signs, how you do, how to answer, even how to scroll, general directions, part directions. You will get trained before you go to the exam. So at the time, you don't have to read all this to waste your time. And the writing part. Throughout the exam, whenever Chinese text is displayed for you to read, or not writing part, so you can choose you can just read the simplified. Now default is simplified. You can switch to the traditional part in case you are learning on the traditional characters. And then this is you are reading, after reading, and you see the question is here, and then the answers are here. You choose one of those. For example, this one say, 小明你好，听说期末考试一结束你就回家了，昨天才回来。Sometimes I suggest students to read the question first. The question is, why does Zhang Hong assume that Xiaoming does not know about the new library schedule? Why? Look, so then you read it, and the answer says, Xiaoming has been preoccupied with writing his thesis. Xiaoming has been doing an off-campus research project. Xiaoming had gone home for the post-exam break. Xiaoming just returned from a trip abroad. So then you get an idea, and then you read, say, 你好，听说期末考试一结束你就回家了，昨天才回来。So this one, you don't even need to read the rest, because the first sentence already give you answer. I've heard you went to home and you came back yesterday, and then you don't know. Probably you don't know the school noted us that library's opening time has changed, whatever. So those parts you even don't need to know. You don't need to know what time they're gonna open. The only thing you need to know is why he assumed that Xiaoming doesn't know about the new library schedule. The reason is Xiaoming had gone home for the post-exam break. So those are the same. During the reading part selection, the review option will allow you to review the status of each question. So like this one, 报章期刊阅毕后请放回原处 Where would the sign would most likely appear? Because it talk about a newspaper, magazine when you finish and put it back. So it's in a library. And then when you go here, you can review those questions. Because those are, you can see, if you answered, it shows answered. If you marked, it shows a mark. So you can take a look, and when you finish, you can just return or go to question. This is about the 10 minutes. There will be a 10-minute break between the multiple choice and free response sections, meaning when you finish the multiple choice, it will show that you have 10 minutes. It's up to you. You want to take this break or not. Maybe you won't. And you must wait for the proctor's instructions before beginning the break. After the break, you must wait for the proctor's instructions before resuming the exam. On the free response section begins with part A. The free response section begins with part A, which is writing. During the writing part, you may access the help screens. On this part, I will give you training before you take exam, so you don't have to waste time on reading those help. The clock does not stop when viewing the help screens, which means fine. If you really want to read the help part. However, the more time you spend on help, the less time you have to answer. You will have to answer the questions still. So, I will train you, understand how to get help. The writing part directions here. This part is important. In this part of exam, This part is important. In this part of the exam, you can choose your desired input method for typing your responses in Chinese by selecting Pinyin. The default is Pinyin simplified. And if you are using traditional, you can choose Pinyin traditional or Bopomofo from the drop-down list. You can see not this part. And here it shows you how to answer. To answer the tools, you have cut, you have paste, you have undo, you have redo, you have character count, you have input method. Those are the tools. To cut, meaning to delete something you have typed or cut it out and to paste in elsewhere. So select the text and just select cut. Paste, to put text in a different location. You select the text and select cut and go to spot where you want to place the text and select paste. Note that you can only cut and paste with in response to a question, not between response. you can only cut and paste within a response to a question, not between response to different questions. So, understand this part. Undo is selected undo to reverse or cancel your last action. Each time you select undo, it reverses one more action. Redo Once you select redo to reverse the action of the undo command. Each time you select redo, it reverses one more undo command. Character count. Select hide character count to remove the character count. In case you want to see how many characters you have written, you can just leave there, or you can select show character count. If you don't care about this part, you can hide it. Input method we already talked. The default is in the system is Pinyin simplified, and if you are learning Chinese in traditional, then you select Pinyin traditional and Bopomorph from drop-down list. This is how writing part, how the story narration looks like. You see here a set of images like this one. You see this lady arrives to train station, and when she was here about to get in the train, she realized she lost her ticket, and then she remembered maybe she dropped on the taxi. In the taxi, right away she went out to get the ticket, but however, when she came back, by the time she got back, the train has left. So this is how the story looks like, and then you're gonna write here. Here you can see Pinyin simplified. When you click this drop down little button, you will, if you want to write a traditional, you can have a Pinyin traditional and Bopomorph for you to choose. The second part of the writing is to respond an email. This email, you see the center, the people sent to you, the center is Wang Minghua, and the topic is 申请美国大学 apply for American universities, and then he talked about something and usually they ask some question, and then you're gonna appropriately write an email in Chinese. This is a speaking part. Before you begin this part, you will perform another headset and microphone check. You need to do this. You should record your responses at a normal speaking level. Don't make too loud or don't make too low. About the conversation, it says that you will participate in a simulated conversation. Each time it is your turn to speak, you will have 20 seconds to record. You should respond as fully and as appropriately as possible. There will be 6 times when it is your turn to speak, meaning you have to answer 6 questions. So this is the first part of speaking look like. The directions. You will participate in the simulated conversation. You will hear a series of questions or statements. After each question or statement, you will hear a tone signifying that it is your turn to speak. Let me put this a little bigger. You will have 20 seconds to record each response. You should respond as full and as appropriately as possible. When you are ready to begin, select the Continue button. Then once you started your lesson, here is the example.
You will have a conversation with Yu Ping Ping, a reporter from your school newspaper, who is interviewing you about your opinion on sports. She will ask you 6 questions. 1.
你好，我是于萍萍，请问你们每天都上体育课吗？
2.
你们在体育课上做什么？
3.
你最喜欢的体育项目是什么？
4.
你们学校有哪些体育俱乐部？你参加了吗？
5.
你能谈谈最有意思的一次体育课吗？
6.
学校的哪一场体育比赛给你的印象最深？
So you must heard about the question, 6 questions, and after each question you will have 20 seconds to record your response. And the last part is the cultural presentation. Cultural presentation tells you that you will be asked to speak in Chinese on a specific topic. Imagine you are making an oral presentation to your Chinese class. First, you will read and hear the topic for your presentation. You will have 4 minutes to prepare your presentation. Then you will have 2 minutes to record your presentation. Your presentation should be as complete as possible, meaning the more information you input, probably the better. And here, like this one, this sample says choose one Chinese food that is associated with a particular holiday, like mooncake, 粽子, etc. In your presentation, describe this food that is associated with a particular holiday and explain its significance. Then you use 4 minutes to prepare and 2 minutes to record. So that's all the questions, and when you finish, and it will show you the end, and you have to click continue on the end of exam screen. Next, the end of session screen that will appear for a few seconds before the exam completion. The application closes. After this, you will be done. So this is all about AP Chinese Language and Culture exam. So don't worry too much, and right now just get idea, and we work together, take you there. Thank you.